Hello everyone, welcome back to Vtuber Connect. Let's go ahead and continue. I follow behind Makoto as she quietly walks through the dimly lit streets. The air is tranquil, with her footsteps being the only sounds that can be heard in the stillness of the night. I'm unsure as to what to say to her. Would it be insensitive to ask about Mana right now? I guess I could ask some basic questions. Makoto. Makoto continues to walk, but I can visibly see her posture shift a little. I guess she isn't used to me calling her by her given name. Yeah? So, the voice you use is Mana. That's still you making that voice, right? It's just a bit hard to believe because it's so different. Makoto is visibly surprised for a moment before smiling. She clears her throat and adjusts her posture.
Hehe, what are you talking about? Don't I sound the same as you always?
The voice that leaves Makoto's mouth is distinctly Mana's, down to its exact pitch and the way of speaking. The voice isn't too loud, likely as a precaution for being outside, but it's clear enough that I wouldn't ever mistake it. Huh? How do you do that?
What do you mean? I'm the same old Makoto.
Okay, now I'm just weirded out.
Don't be weirded out, just think of this voice when you think of me.
Ah! Makoto breaks out in laughter at my visible anguish.
Okay, I'll stop.
I'm glad we're able to go back to joking around like this, despite the events of the past 2 days. I can tell we're still both a bit shaken, but we're trying our best to move forward. Doesn't it get tiring having to change your voice like that?
I'm used to it, so not really.
I see. Being able to change your voice like that is really impressive.
Is it? You might be able to do it yourself if you tried.
Yeah, I don't think you want to hear my pitched up voice.
Maybe you're right. Forget I said anything then.
Makoto smiles and turns to continue walking. There are so many other things I want to ask and am wondering about. Maybe I can wait until after Makoto tells me everything tomorrow.
Hey, Shoma.
It's my turn to feel uncomfortable. It's going to take a bit to get used to her calling me by my given name. I can't say I'm not happy about it though. Yeah?
Thanks for today and for everything. Glad things turned out the way they did.
Yeah, me too. Well, I guess it could have been a little less bumpy along the way.
That's for sure.
I want to thank you too. I've been running away from my problems for a while now. But I think you've given me something worth all the hardships.
Oh, I must be worth a lot to you then. We still have a lot more to go through. It's not too late to go back to the easier route.
It's definitely an easier route, but I don't think I was ever content with how I was. Not because of VTubers themselves. I do get a certain fulfillment from watching them. They provided a happiness and hope that I can't even begin to describe. Being able to share special experiences with them is something beautiful of its own. But I was just using them to substitute for what I truly wanted. When I formed with you and what I ended up forming with Mana are two different things. I wouldn't want to give up either.
Well, I have some good news for you. Turns out they're the same person, so you get a 2-for-1 deal.
Dang, really? I must have the jackpot then.
But if I'm being serious, I'm really glad to hear you say that. I don't think I would want to give up what I have with you as Makoto or Mana either. Okay, enough with the embarrassing lines. We're almost there.
We arrive at the front of Makoto's house. She turns to me.
I think I'm going to collapse as soon as I'm inside. I'm pretty sure I aged a few years today.
Same here. Can't remember the last time I felt this tired.
Kinda feel bad I need to walk all the way here with me.
No, don't feel that way. I was the one who wanted to do this. Don't worry. I have enough in me to make it back. Good night.
Wait. Do you want to stay over for the night? Not for any weird reasons. Just so you don't have to walk back so late.
Huh? Can you repeat that? I don't think I heard it correctly.
No, I'm not saying it again. You heard what I said.
No, I shouldn't. I'll just head back.
No, really, it's fine. It's already so late. If you're worried about me, I'm completely fine with it. So just do what's best for you, or what you want.
Well, Well, of course I want to, but I probably shouldn't.
Stop making it weird. It just makes more sense to stay here instead of making you walk all the way back when it's so late. And I have a futon you can sleep on in one of the other rooms.
Yeah, you're right. It makes the most logical sense. Indeed, you are very correct. Let's go with that. Thanks. Dang it, she looks unamused. Calm down, Lee. We'll be sleeping in separate rooms. It's not like thought occurred to me that I might have been in the same room. Alright, stop. Deep breaths. You can't really blame me. Still head over heels for her, and she just invited me to stay overnight at her place. My heart feels like it's about to explode right now. Maybe I should have just refused. There's no way that this is good for my heart. No, I would have beat myself over it if I hadn't taken this opportunity. Maybe that would have been worse.
So, are you going to keep having your internal battle, or are you going to come in?
Sorry, I'll come in now. Lead the way. Makoto leads me to what seems to be a storage room, containing only a sparse number of boxes.
Wait here, I get a futon to roll out.
Okay. Makoto leaves the room, leaving me to continue processing what's happening. Calm down, Lee. Nothing's going to happen. I'm just staying here in this room by myself for the night, because it's late out. Wait, will I even be able to go to sleep in this situation? I'll probably just collapse right away. I'm so tired, I don't think it'll take long for this adrenaline to run out. Makoto re-enters the room with a rolled up futon, blanket, and pillow in her arms. She hands me the pillow and blanket and rolls out the futon across the floor.
The bathroom's down the hall. Okay, I'm going to go and collapse onto the comfort of my bed. Good night.
Oh, good night. Makoto glances at me instead of leaving.
Don't tell me you're expecting anything to happen.
Of course not. Maybe you were the one who was expecting something.
Regardless, if I wanted something to happen, I'm pretty sure I'm too tired for anything. I need my sleep.
Yeah, me too. Good night.
Sleep tight.
Makoto walks out of the room and down the hall to her own room. I immediately collapse on the futon and spread out my body. 2 nights in a row staying up this late can't be good for my well-being. It probably doesn't help that I'm in an unfamiliar place. I release a big sigh after taking a deep breath. It really has been an eventful 2 days, hasn't it? Thinking back on it, I did say some really embarrassing things. Recall the exact lines that I said at the beach. I immediately cover my face and start rolling around. Did I really say those things? I mean, kinda glad I did, since it ended up working out, but it's so embarrassing. Wait, how would Makoto have interpreted it? Was I basically confessing my love to her? I mean, I do have feelings, but I need some more time to understand them. When I said those things today, I wasn't necessarily meaning it in a romantic way. But I did mention that I became obsessed with her. Isn't that just pretty much giving it away? It would be weird to ask what she thinks about me, what she considers me to be. Maybe I'm the weird one thinking too hard about these things. I can start to feel my thoughts trail off as my exhaustion starts to set in. Whatever. This will be a problem for next morning's Shoma. I close my eyes and slowly feel my consciousness fade away. The light of a new day shines brightly through the windows and pulls me out of my slumber. I feel a sudden sense of panic as soon as I open my eyes, in response to the sight of an unfamiliar room. It takes me a second to recall the events of the previous night. Oh yeah, I'm at Makoto's place. Still feels like a dream, everything that's happened. My body does not feel the greatest, that's for sure. What time is it? I pull out my phone to see that it's already past noon. I guess we did get back pretty late. I wonder if Makoto is awake. I stretch out my arms before picking myself up and heading out of the room. I take a glance inside Makoto's room after noticing the door was open. Looks like she's already awake. She's probably downstairs. I guess I'll wash her before heading down. I'm greeted by the sight of Makoto sitting on one of the sofas, looking at her phone. She looks at when she notices me walking closer.
Oh, you're awake.
Sorry, have you been up for a while?
I've only been awake for about 30 minutes. Not enough time for me to wash up and draw on your face while you were asleep.
How unfortunate. Maybe you should have set an alarm.
Is my sleep worth that amusement? I guess that's another one of my life's many difficult questions.
Sure it is. So, what's the plan for today? Are you going to tell me about everything when I woke up?
How about we go eat first? I also kinda want some time to mentally prepare as well.
How about this? We can go eat, and then I'll head back to my place so I can have the chance to take a shower and change clothes. Then I can head back to here.
Alright, sounds like a plan.
Makoto sits across from me, her mouth full of pancakes. She eats with the same nonchalance as she had when I ate with her in the city. It's still as amusing to see as before. She looks at me after she swallows her current bite.
You must have a lot of questions, don't you?
Yeah, a ton. But I figured a lot of them might be answered later today. And I didn't think it would be good to bring it up in a public setting.
I see. How thoughtful of you. That's true. We could probably wait until later tonight. You really did say some embarrassing things yesterday, didn't you?
I almost start choking on my food. I start gulping some water to clear my throat. You're going to hold that over my head, aren't you? Don't pretend like you didn't get caught up with the mood yourself.
Ah, yes, the beautiful starry sky, the beach, talking about wanting me in your life.
I almost start choking on my food again.
Okay, stop now. You might die from choking at this rate.
Yes, please spare me. There's so much to talk about with Makoto. And there are so many things that we have to address. Wait, isn't the anniversary stream in 3 days? Should I even bring that up? I'm sure Makoto knows, but still. Hey, is this really okay? Us being here and chatting? I feel like there are so many things we have to address, and your anniversary stream is coming up.
You know, I was feeling the exact same way, but for a different reason. The anniversary stream is in 3 days, isn't it? It's sure that there's a ton of stuff to be done for that, and that I'm still feeling a ton of anxiety about it. But it'll work out, I think. Before I can commit myself to that, I need to be able to get past this mental and emotional wall before me. I can't move forward with you without telling you what I need to tell you. And moments like these aren't bad. They may be fleeting, but it really lets me take a moment to appreciate things.
Yeah, you're right. I guess we don't always have to be trying to tackle some problem. You said you were feeling the same way for a different reason, right? What's the reason?
Moments of fleeting happiness like these make me question if it's really okay to feel this way. And as for the reason, let's save it for tonight.
I have a feeling I know where she's getting at, but I don't want to push it. She's right, we can wait until tonight and enjoy the current moments of peace. Alright. Oh yeah, I do remember you mentioning that you wish for people to achieve true happiness in one of your, talks.
Oh yeah, I did mention that in my stream a few days ago, didn't I?
What exactly did you mean by true happiness?
Well, it's not really something that's clearly defined. It's just that when some people define happiness, they think of it as a state where there's a lack of sadness or pain. Or they think of it as merely being satisfied in a neutral state. I guess it all depends on the person, but I want to truly say that I'm a happy person. Where I can smile and laugh without forcing it, and not have to worry about everything else.
I see. Would you consider this moment to be true happiness? You mentioned that this was a moment of happiness.
That's the thing. It's only ephemeral. I think I said that right. I still wouldn't consider myself a happy person though. It's all really vague, isn't it? Obviously, you can't expect to always be happy, and maybe that true happiness is built on moments like these. But even right now, I feel like I'm just running away from sadness and pain.
So would you consider it to be a state where there's a lack of sadness and pain?
Well, I know it's impossible to be completely free of those things. Maybe it's a state where there isn't that much of it. Or maybe it's a state where I'm able to consider myself a happy person in spite of those things. Isn't that too idealistic?
Not at all. Is that a state that a lot of people are in?
Well, I don't know if you can ever tell for sure. They might just be showing their happiness outwardly while they internalize their pain.
That's true. Some people inevitably go through both moments of happiness and pain. So you're talking about a state where people can focus on happiness and not feel like they're running from the pain or sadness?
Yeah, I think that's right. It would be nice if everybody could achieve that.
You did wish that for all your viewers. I'm sure that you were able to reach people with that. I for sure appreciated it when I heard it.
Thanks.
But it goes both ways, doesn't it? I'm sure everybody else wishes that for you as well. You're always looking out for us, and you might know this already, but I want you to know that we wish the best for you as well.
Thanks. I mean it. I don't think I'm deserving of that, but it makes me happy hearing it.
Come on, nobody thinks you're non-deserving of that.
Are you finished with your food?
Oh, I am. Do you want to play and get going?
Yeah, let's go.
After we paid for the food, we agreed to meet at our place in around 2 hours. After saying bye to Makoto, I headed home to take a shower and change clothes. I find myself once again at the gate to Makoto's house. It's a familiar sight at this point, but there's a different air to this visit. There's a heaviness in my chest as I look at the window to Makoto's room. Makoto said she would tell me everything, but I'm not exactly sure how I should be feeling. Maybe I'm stupid for feeling this way. Makoto had to find a resolve much stronger than me to decide to tell me anything, while I'm here feeling like I'm not even sure if I'm ready to hear anything. Well, here goes. I take a deep breath and press the doorbell to Makoto's house. After about 30 seconds, Makoto comes out the front door.
Hey, come in. Let's head to my room.
I only nod as I notice her uneasiness. Makoto's room is a familiar sight, with nothing significantly different from the last time I had been here. She takes a seat at her bed, leaving me to sit on the chair she uses at her desk. Makoto doesn't say anything, but I can tell that she's breathing heavily. She opens her mouth to say something, but nothing comes out. I know that she's visibly shaking. Hey, you don't have to force yourself.
No, I need to do this. Sorry, just give me a second.
Makoto takes a deep breath.
Can I ask you to hear me out completely before saying anything or asking any questions?
Okay.
Thanks. Where do I even start? Like I mentioned before, I've always hated myself, even before becoming a VTuber. I've always been the type of person to hurt people because of how I am.
I'm not good at expressing my feelings, so I lead people to think that I don't care about them, or that I might not like them even if that's not true. I've always admired the people who can wear their heart on their sleeve and effortlessly build a positive connection with others. Whereas someone like me will just give others the wrong idea. But actually, is it even the wrong idea? I wouldn't consider myself a nice person. It's easy for me to fall into the trap of condemning people for taking actions I perceive as wrong or ignorant. I don't want to think like that. I want to be able to accept people and believe in their capacity for good. It's not uncommon for me to just straight up tell someone off if I think they're wrong about something important. If I was a better person, I would say it differently, or maybe I wouldn't say anything at all. But I'm not that kind of person. I've hurt a lot of people by doing that. I don't think my family situation helped my mindset at a young age either. My parents divorced when I was in middle school. I saw a lot of bad fights prior to that, and they weren't that uncommon after the fact since I was going back and forth between them for a while. It wasn't hard to think that I was at fault for this situation, being an only child. I wouldn't say I have the best relationship with either of them. I'm not saying I hate them. I still love them both and only wish the best for them, but I have my differences with both of them. They're both strong-minded, and they differ from each other in what they want out of my life, which is one of the reasons why they fought. Maybe I could have prevented it if I had been more self-aware back then. All I knew was that I desperately wanted to keep both of them, so I tried my best to listen to them. But my efforts ended up being for nothing. They divorced anyway. For a while, I still tried to cater towards both their demands, even if they differed from what I wanted to do. After some point, I just had enough. I honestly don't even know what's best for myself, but I knew what my parents wanted for me wasn't what I was looking for. It wasn't uncommon for me to get into fights with my parents throughout high school. You can probably see why I'm living here alone, don't you? I'm an awful daughter, aren't I? I'm willing to break my family's hearts for my own sake. That's something I was desperate to avoid, no matter what. And I'm a selfish person. Despite the selfishness I've shown, my parents never abandoned me. They continued to reach out and care for me in their own ways. Why do they continue to keep a daughter like me around? All I do is fight with them when I see them. A lot of times I think to myself, what if I was never in the picture in the first place? Would they have found happiness instead? I knew I wanted to change something, but it's not like I can just suddenly become a better person all of a sudden. That's when I was exposed to VTubers, when they started taking off in popularity. At first I didn't know why there were so many people that started watching these VTubers. But as I started watching them myself, I think I understood. I saw these amazing people able to bring happiness and inspiration to so many people. Just by expressing a part of themselves, they were able to form such a unique, profound connection with their viewers. I knew that this was something I wanted to try. The idea that I could reinvent myself and try to become the person I wanted to be and share the things I love just appealed to me. It's only been about a year, but I get nostalgic thinking about my beginnings as Mana. Before I even had the idea of Mana, I did a ton of research and brushed up on my skills. I applied to a bunch of agencies and got rejected at every single one. Eventually, the idea of Mana came to me in one night, and I decided to try and make it as an indie VTuber. I wanted to ultimately be responsible for my own success as a VTuber.
Spent a lot of time and resources coming up with the design of Monet and having it created. Eventually I debuted. I don't think there were more than 5 viewers at any given point of the stream, but I was still happy. I think starting out, I was just happy that anybody would come and watch. I would recognize the few people that would stop by and feel bad if they stopped showing up. If I found them on another stream instead, then that would hurt me even more, but still. It was nice. I felt like I was starting a new life. Almost. Every stream was scuffed and there were a ton of things I didn't know about. I was working tirelessly every day, balancing school and improving myself for streams that only a few people would see, but it was fun. For the first time in my life, I felt like I was choosing who I wanted to be and expressing the self I wanted to show. There was a friend I made, not soon after I debuted. She was another VTuber that debuted at around the same time I did. Given that we were both in a similar situation, and that we just ended up clicking immediately, it didn't take long for us to become pretty close. She's the type of person to wear her heart on her sleeve. She was energetic, kind, positive, and an unbelievably hard worker. In a lot of ways, I looked up to her. I was so blessed to have a person like her in my life. Honestly, a big reason why I think back fondly on the times I was starting out, despite all the hardships, was because of her. We would collab a lot, sometimes doing some really dumb things like singing meme songs. Other times we would share the joy of beating a really difficult game together. We laughed a lot, struggled together, complained to each other about things, talked about mundane topics, discussed life. It was a happy moment in my life that I took for granted, not realizing how fleeting those kinds of moments can be. We both worked hard every day and she was more talented than me in a lot of ways. If I was a viewer, I wouldn't even think about watching my stream over hers. For some reason, I started growing quickly in viewership while she didn't. At first, it wasn't really an issue. Why would it be? One of us is growing and we should be happy about that, shouldn't we? Well, I continued to grow. I didn't know why more people were coming to watch me. I still don't know. My friend continued to support me like she had always done, as positive and bright as the sun. But I started feeling guilty. Starting out, we had always talked about how we want to grow and reach as many people as possible. Why was I the one who was growing and not her, when she was so much better than me in every way? She still continued to treat me with the same kindness as she always had as I continued to grow. She never complained or never said anything negative to me about it. But I knew that deep down, it must have been affecting her. Conversations about viewership or growth became awkward. It was that she started working twice as hard, planning big events, streaming more often, trying to put out more content and be more engaged. But none of her efforts were ever rewarded. It hurt so much to see her barely grow despite the effort that she put in. I started becoming hyper-fixated on viewership numbers even though I knew I shouldn't. At first, I would try my best to try and promote her on my own stream, but that ended up making things worse. After a certain point, it just seemed like I was desperately trying to promote her. She ended up getting backlash that she was just trying to piggyback off my own popularity. And a part of why I was doing it was out of pity. I wanted to try and help her, but I wasn't actually thinking about how she felt. Would you really feel fulfilled if someone just handed you viewers because they felt bad for you? The worst part about it all is that she never condemned me for anything. She still wanted to continue being my friend. She was so precious to me and I didn't ever want to give up the friendship we had. But how could I keep going, knowing that I was just hurting her just by existing? Every day I would feel more and more guilty. Why was it me and not her? It's so conceited and self-important to think that my growth would cause her to hurt. But I could tell that it affected her. If I was in her position, I would feel jealousy even though I knew that she was so much more amazing than I am. I don't blame her if she started hating me. It would hurt me so much to see her smile and be kind to me. I would hurt her regardless of my actions on or off stream. It was my existence that was the problem. I started to keep my distance even though I loved her more than anything. Maybe it was because I loved her that I felt like it was better if she didn't have to see me. And eventually we drifted apart. Now, every time I see any of her content, I feel an overwhelming sense of guilt. Maybe this is my punishment for my selfishness. I'm sure she hates me. I'm someone who always relied on her and burdened her with my own troubles. She would always be there for me, supporting me. And what did I end up doing for her in return? I only ended up hurting her. I know you probably have wondered why I don't collab with other VTubers as Mana. It's been brought up as on stream a couple of times as well. I always give a vague answer on stream, but if you're wondering about what the real reason was, it was because of this. I didn't want to go through the same situation again, where I just end up hurting another person. It was also because as I started to get bigger, I would get approached more often and I didn't know what people's intentions were. Isn't that a terrible mindset? Then I might automatically assume that these people might just be wanting to interact with me and to try and climb socially. Isn't it enough to just try and make friends? But I can't think like that after what happened. That's just one of the many things I wasn't ready for as I started gaining popularity. The responsibilities I had started getting more frequent and more significant. Suddenly, I was having to present myself in front of hundreds and eventually thousands of people. My chat culture went from cozy and I could recognize everyone to an amalgamation of names that I couldn't put a personality to. I could no longer keep up with trying to just satisfy everyone. It was impossible for me to read every message and address every problem. As it got bigger, negative impressions of me became more common. I used to always check out people's impressions of me on social media, but I stopped. People started DMing me more frequently, many times with the intention to try and get close to me for shallow or dubious reasons. Sometimes I would even get straight confessions from people I've never met. I didn't know how to respond to that. I started to really watch what I say, both on stream and on social media. Anything even slightly negative or controversial could be spun into something that would cause backlash. Expectations grew as my popularity rose. Suddenly I was juggling multiple different commitments and projects. I started struggling to meet deadlines, so I poured all the time I had to try and meet what was expected of me. I stopped having time to enjoy my passions in my own time, like playing video games. This was on top of attending classes. At some point, my mom also got hospitalized for a short while. It wasn't for anything life-threatening, but it still caused me a lot of grief in a time where I was already feeling overwhelmed. I guess God really wanted to punish me. I really wasn't okay during that time. I had no idea life could be like that. I wasn't ready for any of it, not mentally, physically, or emotionally. VTubing was originally a way for me to escape the pains of the real world, but ended up adding onto what was already weighing me down. But it didn't only hurt me, otherwise I wouldn't have kept doing it. A big part of what kept me going was the joy I felt when I could be myself on stream and connect with my community. I continued to chase after that, despite all the hardships that came with it. It was the only hope I saw in a world devoid of hope. That joy also led me to want to become that hope for others. Any one of my viewers could also be someone going through a difficult time. If I could be that person that they're able to find a place of comfort despite their circumstances, then that would mean my life had purpose. So I kept smiling on stream. I kept trying to be that bright, positive person I tried to be. Eventually, that's the identity that Mana became known as. I must have done a good job then, and I think most people would tell me that I can be happy and satisfied about that. But that's all I could do. Keep that image up only on stream. Off stream I was absolutely miserable. I didn't smile. I wasn't positive. I'll never say that I was a happy person. There were so many times where I felt so tired of everything. I would find myself unable to pull myself out of bed despite the enormous amount of work that still had to be done. This all ended up culminating what's been leading up to my anniversary stream. I was desperate to find an answer, but I think I knew the real answer all along. I'm just getting what I deserve. It's my punishment for being selfish and continuously hurting others. It's my punishment for lying and deceiving everybody. I can never truly be the strong, kind, and happy person that I want to be. Instead, all I do is hurt others by existing. Makoto's voice goes weak as she looks away. If all I do is hurt people, and if the only value I bring is built on the bed of lies, maybe it would have been better if I had never existed. What? If I had never been born, my parents wouldn't have fought over me and divorced. If I had never been there to start VTubing, my friend would have never gotten hurt. If I hadn't selfishly gotten you involved, you wouldn't have to be burdened with such a selfish, worthless person. Everybody has every right to hate me. But why? Why does no one express their hate for me? Why does everybody keep showing me their kindness? You, my parents, my friend, my viewers, why do y'all keep showing me such kindness? If y'all just hated me like I deserved, I could disappear from this world in peace. Tears start pouring from Makoto's eyes. I'm unable to sit still anymore. Without thinking if it's the right thing, I pull Makoto into a tight embrace. Please. Please don't say any of that. You're not someone who deserves to be hated. Please, don't blame yourself for those things. Even now, someone like me? Shoma? Do I really deserve to be happy? Tears start rolling down Makoto's face. I pull her closer, not knowing if it's the right thing to do. My own eyes start to form tears. Of course you deserve to be happy. I refuse to believe that there isn't happiness for you in this world. If every greater power is preventing you from attaining that, then I'll fight with you. I'll help you find that happiness that you deserve. So please, please don't say that you want to disappear. I don't want that. I want you here. I don't know how else to put it. Is this really okay? I only mess things up. I just keep hurting people. I can feel Makoto's arms tighten around my back. If this is wrong, then I want to be wrong. If it's wrong for you to achieve happiness, then let's be wrong together. Please, don't try to shoulder this burden by yourself anymore. You've already been through so much. It must have been so hard. But you're not alone. Even if it's a little bit, please let me share some of that burden with you right now.
So much.
The last of Makoto's restraint breaks and the sound of her sobbing fills my ears. I'm unable to hold back my own tears as I hold Makoto even tighter. I don't know if I said the right things. I don't know how we should approach the future. All I know is that right now, and going forward, I want to be here for Makoto. I don't want her to ever have to shoulder so many burdens alone. Even if this is the only thing I can do in my power for her, I want to be here for her.